Hey everybody, and welcome to the channel again. My name is Nina, and today is another Tellonym Q&A. Tellonym is an app where you can send questions in, so if you want to send me any tells, questions even, then I have a link tree which, I'll link at some point, my link tree into my YouTube bio, but in the meantime I'll post a link to my link tree in the description, so you can I might post my Telegram in the description, and in the meantime you can all send tells, but all the same I'll be posting my link tree, so you can follow my Instagram, you can like my Spotify. I don't make music, it's just a Spotify playlist, you can go check out the playlist I made. So you can have a bop, I didn't say bop very often, but I have a listen, and also you can send any tells, or follow my Instagram, which my Instagram is pratcat. Yeah, so sorry if I don't look as usual, I haven't got my makeup on yet, it's still morning, I won't be able to do this very long, so I need to leave, sorry I'm stuttering. I need to leave the house in a few hours, so I need to kill time, so I'm just doing this 8 AM, Anyway, let's get into the questions. So the first one, as you all know, Tellonym, the questions that are sent in are anonymous, so I can't tell any of you who you are, but if you're anybody who asks these questions, then don't be afraid to tell me in the description, but all the same, thank you for this lovely compliment. Anyway, so the first one is, how long to text someone and wait before meeting them in real life? I'd say you'd have to it has to take a while. I don't want to take this the hard way, but you need to give it a heck of a long while. So you need to get to know them, you need to literally just develop knowledge about, not full on knowledge, everything about them, but at least something, about them, their name, their family members, just things about them, it's in the actual ways of getting to know them, but also getting to know who they are, and just basically getting to know their identity, as well as having, maybe, because it depends on how they feel about it, but having voice calls or video calls, just at least getting to know them, just so that you can understand how you feel about them, but then how they feel about you, so to develop knowledge about each other, and that along the lines you can actually develop any kind of proof that they're actually a person, because there are some people out there who have met online people in real life, but a lot of them they met weren't people they're expecting, and that's because it's usually that they're talking to somebody who's fraud. So it's also, I think it depends who they are. So if it's so you need to get to know them. People say don't meet up with anybody you don't know. And often I would agree, but to an extent I would disagree, because you should at least do it at your own risk. At least if you're under 18, bring an adult with you to see that person, see if they're real, or if you're over 18, just, it's a choice really, but oftentimes you just need to take time and get to know them, it's so that you know about them and who they are. So it's basically talking about their background and who they are, just to prove that, not just to prove that they're human, they are human, but it's just that to prove that they are actually who you're talking to, not just an actual fake stranger you just met online, some deviant, gangster from Nebraska or something, but so to answer the question, you need to give it a heck of a long time, so at least a few months. It depends really. So because sometimes it takes a few weeks to get to know them very quickly. I mean, it depends, like, connections. I mean, it depends, but like, I hate when I stutter. But it takes like a few weeks and a few months. That's my first question. Second question is tips on how to talk about gossiping. I mean, I don't know how to answer that question properly, but like, how to talk about gossiping, you know, I guess like just talk to like one individual in like in just like one to one, so like at least confirm of what whoever's been gossiping to you about said things. Just make sure, just clarify if it's actually a thing, and then just tell, but not just tell them the full thing in accuracy. I don't know if I sounded that right, but just tell them. I mean, just start with, just talk to one person, but not a whole lot. Just make sure the person you're talking to about it is actually, I mean, oftentimes keeping it a secret for a while, just so that until you know, and unless it's confirmed, you know, you won't start a full-on rumour, because a lot of times, you know, gossips, like rumours start, and rumours go everywhere, and a lot of times rumours happen, things end up getting a bit funny, like, well, weird, and it doesn't, it's like, yeah, so I reckon, I mean, I don't know how to answer that question, like, to its extent, but I think my guess to that, all I can say is at least just until it's confirmed, because I think some gossips, you know, it's like either rumours are true or not true, and rumours are usually like, you don't know if they're true or not true, so at least, you know, speculate about it. But then if you want to talk to someone about it, just make sure, I mean, unless you can, but at least, you know, be a bit incognita with it. At least talk to somebody as in a one-to-one, so not every group of people, because otherwise that would be potential to start a rumour, even if you could trust them. But like, at least one person that's trustworthy enough is fine, because then you two know about it, and that's just all good and well. And also I think it makes it easier when to catch up if you just want to make sure that everything is going within, so keeping the secret, if you know did anything. Yeah. Third question. What do you think about jealousy in a friendship? I mean, jealousy in a friendship is no stranger, isn't really anything new, because I've seen, I mean, oftentimes, I mean, usually it happens within envy. I mean, jealousy, envy usually is a very common thing in friendships, although I think it can lead into a lot of ways, because you can have jealousy in which, like for me, I'm a non-binary person. I'm non-binary and I'm feminine, and usually despite that, you know, I usually get very jealous, envious of cis women, which is, you know, correctly known as gender envy, and that's something I often feel upon, you know, my cis women friends. And so, I mean, I've had my fair share of jealousies and envies among friends in the past, and I think I've had a few disagreements, and I've had a one-way fallout, which I won't mention, but I mean, it's been rectified before, and I think all has been well. But yeah, jealousy, I think from my point of view, it's just nothing really that common or special, because I mean, jealousy and envy is a normal thing, and, you know, it's not a normal thing, it's nothing too special, it just happens or so, and yeah, so hopefully I answered that question for you. And like I said, it happens normally in a friendship or relationship, and it's just, it happens. That's just, you know, how friendship goes, you'll have times where you feel envious or jealous, and it's normal. So don't be afraid. I mean, yeah. I mean, don't feel bad if you feel jealous, because that's just normal. But for one thing, at least try and don't let it get to your system. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Fourth question. So what's planned for your week? Well, I mean, I'm going, today at around 9 AM. I mean, it's 7:17. So around at 9, I'm going to be leaving the house to go to Kerno, Cornwall. I call Cornwall Kerno. I think that's the old name. I've learnt somewhere, but seen somewhere. Like Kerno is the old word for Cornwall. And, yeah. So, I'm going down to Cornwall for a few days, and then I'm coming home in the next 5 or 4 days or so. And then, yeah, I mean, it's Wednesday today, so I got Thursday, Friday, so I only got like 4 days left, 5 days left of my week left. So I think what's planned for my week, I'll be spending the rest of my week in Cornwall, but I think that, you know, I'll be spending, I don't know, I think that when I come home nothing will really happen really. I'll be doing the usual, so I mean nothing's really planned, but I'm going down to Cornwall for the next few days. So yeah, that's the 5th answered. The 6th question is there something that you always say yes to when asked, and what? Usually, I think it depends really, because like, if it's something like, I mean, normally if it was something in a definite way when I say yes all the time, usually I say, like, I usually say yes to things like, do you want to meet up, do you want to go to a party, or do you want to come to my house or sleep over? I mean, no, I'm not asking you, because I don't know you, whoever you're watching this, unless you're a friend, you know. But like, if it was those questions, or things like it would seem something I'd feel very lucky about, I would say yes. So things like, would you like a sandwich, would you like a cup of tea, would you like to hang out, or would you like to like have some company, you know. Things that I find very, you know, wholesome, but also, you know, very tender. You know, anything that's, I feel that is something that kind of gives me, you know, a place for me in my heart. You know, if I feel like, I'd say yes if I wanted to talk about it. And I think that, but the specific question is like, what things do I say yes to and what? Is usually things like, do you want to go to a party, do you want to go to a meet-up? That only applies to when I'm available. So not exactly everything, just, you know, not everything, because sometimes I'm not able to do it, but I think regularly if I was able to do it, just by anything, I would say yeah, because that's something I don't usually do often, and also it's like, I have every chance to do so, and it's just, it's something I don't really do often. I mean, because if you know me well, I'm a lone wolf, and I don't do very much, and oftentimes, whenever I'm invited to said events, and I just say yeah, because it's oftentimes I just know that I don't, compared from everybody else, I mean they do it quite often, but for me it's not very normal, it's just, you know, it's quite rare, so oftentimes whenever I have a lucky chance, whenever I have, you know, whenever I have my chance, I just take it, you know, because it's, yeah, it's not something I do often, it's something I want to do, and I don't do it very often, so whenever I have the chance, I just take it, just like you should, just like you should. yeah, so that's the 6th question asked. 7th question is, have you ever kissed your best friend? No. Well, no. I don't think I've ever kissed my friend before. I mean, I've kissed my ex-partner, not... Well, my ex before my last ex, which was back in... I'm trying to remember... March 2018. That was the last time I ever kissed somebody. So the last time I kissed somebody was in March 2018. That was the last time I've kissed somebody, which was at least 4 years ago from now. And we were best friends. Like, we were best friends, best partners, best girlfriends. We were best friends even then. And then, which I think canonically we did kiss each other. So I think in terms of like, did I ever kiss my friend? No. But I have kissed my partners. Well, when I did have a partner, I kissed them. Not all my ex-partners, but some of them. I do, you know, to compare, you'll know what I mean. But like, I mean, most partners, but not all partners. But in that sense, we were, well, obviously friends. Well, partners, best friend partners, if you know what I mean. I mean, we did kiss, so I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I think in like, generally if I ever kissed a friend, not as in me and this friend were dating, but like as in regular friends, not really. Because I mean, I'm bi, but it was just, I mean, the time when I was very close to my friends, like, years and years ago, like, I was still questioning, so I didn't really have, like, very strong... I don't know how to... non-platonic or platonic? So I don't think I had, like, a very kind of romantic view upon, like, any of the friends I had. I mean, I saw them as best friends, but I don't think I ever had a romantic view of them, and I don't think that... I did ponder about it, but I think it just, at the end, I just knew that it just didn't come out that way, so... Yeah, I never kissed a friend, and I don't think I ever will. I mean, it happens in some friend groups, but, oh well. 8th question is there someone who makes you feel loved, even though you don't feel lovable? Who is the person and how did they do it? Now for this question I want to keep any names out of it, because I don't know if they want to be mentioned. But like, you know, I think I'd say my friends really. I'd say my best friends. I mean, I have lots of best friends. I think I'd say a lot of friends I have, I get on heavily well with, like really, really well with. And I think I'd say a lot of my friends do. My closest friends are the ones who make me feel lovable, they keep me strong. And I think the people who just, well, keep me strong, people who listen to me, people who understand me, people who treat me well, you know, I make me feel lovable. And that's, yeah, so that's one question about that I answered, so hopefully I answered your question. So yeah, for that conclusion, my friends, even my closest ones, make me feel lovable. And how they do it, they just, well, they treat me well, and I treat them well. So it's more like they help me whenever I'm down, and vice versa really. So yeah, that's the 8th question answered. 9th question is, rate yourself out of 10 and say why. I mean, I'm not always a person that rates themselves out of 10, but I'd say if I was to rate myself out of 10, I'd say in terms of style and personality, because I tend to think I'm very eccentric in a way, and that I'm always down to earth. I'm just laid back, but also I know what I'm doing, and I'm that kind of person that won't stand nonsense, but at the same time I just will not stand. I mean, I won't stand for any any nonsense or anything that's just bullshit. And I think generally it's more to do with personality. Like, I've never really had any controversial background. I've never done anything wrong. Well, I mean, I must have had arguments in the past. I know I did things wrong in the past, but I think as of now, I've just improved gratefully. I never have any, one enemy, except for one enemy. I mentioned that before, but this enemy is just, I didn't make them an enemy, you know. I didn't have any rivals. I don't intend to have any rivals, and I get along with everybody. So that's a rate out of 10. I also tend to be very sincere and honest. So yeah, that's that. I didn't have much to say for rating myself out of 10. I think I'd say I rate myself out of 6 or 7. I'm not entirely perfect, but oh well. But I think if I was rating myself out of 10, I think it'll be to do with personality and style. Style as in, I tend to think I dress well. I seem to have good ideas and good intentions, you know. I just don't let myself down in that sense, in that way. So yeah, that's the 9th question answered. 10th question, oh boy. 10th question, personally, do you like kids? I mean, that's a question I feel wary of asking, because I think, I'm not saying it's not like the one that you actually think it is, but it's just, you know, yeah, it just sounds a bit weird, but I think if I was to answer that question, I'd say I don't ever like kids in a romantic way. I mean, I'm 19 and I don't have any affectionate, you know, I don't have any affection for any minors, because the only people I'll only have affection for is 18 or over. So no minors. So, but yeah, I don't have any romantic, you know, statuses upon any minors. I don't have any affection for minors. I don't ever want to date a minor, and I would refuse to say yes to a minor that would ask me out. So absolutely not in a romantic way. No way. Absolutely no way. Although, but if you mean, but if you mean liking kids as in I don't hate children, I just don't mind them, then yes. I mean, as long as a child is well behaved, as long as a child isn't ungrateful or messy or rude or dirty or really immature or just really disrespectful, as long as they aren't like that, then, you know, you're on my good side, you're in my good book. But if you're like one of those rude children that are always causing a nuisance, then no, I don't like you. So to answer that question carefully, I don't like them in a romantic way, absolutely not in a romantic way, you know, but I don't mind kids, you know, as long as they're not bad ones. So basically I just treat them like normal human beings, but I would never ever show any romance for them. I hope that question is really, I mean, I recommend for any of you watching this, I recommend if you really want to watch that back, watch it carefully, because I'm very worried I would have slipped up something that sounded out of order. Because I mean, that question wasn't bad, but it was just, you know, it just felt very awkward to answer. But I'm not going to be that one to say, please don't answer it again. But I'll just say that please, you know, at least consider. I mean, I don't know, but you can ask those questions, but just know that it's going to feel very awkward asking. That's the 10th question answered. 11th question is, what decade would you have liked to, 11th question is, what decade would you like to have been born in? I mean, that's a very difficult question. That's a very difficult question because there are a lot of decades I wish I was born in. I mean, I think specifically I would have liked to have been born, I think, in the years between 1978, around 1978 to 1982. And the reason being is because I think it's just, you know, because I know by math that if you're born in the late 70s, early 80s, you'll experience the 90s as a teenager and in the start of the 21st century. So I reckon, yeah, I mean, there are things I would like to be born in the 60s so I can experience the 80s, 70s and 80s. I think, but mainly I would have liked to have been born between 1978 and 1982. It's only so I can experience the 1990s and, well, the 80s and 90s, and because they had great music back then, and there's things back then I think I would have. I understand there are things as trans people were oppressed, and there was no non-binary rights back then, and even so, I would have loved to have seen the music scene then. I would have loved to have seen things that I know about the 90s I'm fascinated with to see then. And yeah, and just to experience retro things and just music, etc. But I think all the same, there's part of me wants to have been born in 1990, in the 1990s, so I can experience the time 10 years ago or so. But I think I'm very, as of now, I'm very content with living in the years now. But I think in terms of what decade I wish I'd been born in, I'd say what time I wish I was born in, I'd say late 70s, early 80s, just so I can experience the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s as a grown adult. Hopefully I answered your question. Yeah, so that 11th question, as I've answered, late 70s, early 80s, that's just the main. I have other one decisions, but that's just the main one that's been on my mind more than often. 12th question is, need advice, I'm stuck in the friend zone. Well, I think if you're stuck in the friends, that's a hard question for me, because I mean, I don't know how to deal with friend zones. I mean, I've never really been in said friend zone, but I think that stuck in the friend zone. I think just I think just go on as normal. I mean, usually the friend zone is good, but I think that because you can't just meet somebody. I'm not saying you are, but you can't just meet someone in the actions you want to start a relationship straight away. And yes, the friend zone is painful, and it's not anything else. A lot of us don't like the friend zone. I mean, none of us do. I mean, even myself. But I think all the same, it's good. It's a good thing to a lot of extents. If you're in the friend zone, it's a good thing anyway. So I think it gives you time to develop a friendship, and even despite it all, just at least, carry on as normal, just treat them as a friend, and just do the usual thing, just work on yourself if you want to, just, try new things, and just carry on as normal. So I think, I know this probably sounds like bad advice, but that's just something I can never give you. But yeah, friend zone is it's not the bestest thing in the world, but I think all the same, at least you're friends with them, because what if they just began hating you for no reason? I think just carry on as friends and just work your way up to see where it goes, but that's just where I've been. I don't think I've ever been in the friend zone before, but never I've ever felt I've had, I've always felt that was just the right way to go, because I can just see where it goes anyway. I mean, it's this person just sees you as a friend, and I think in the meantime just see where things go, because I mean, things might change one day, you never know. That's just my advice anyway. yeah, so that's the 12th question answered. And yeah, so yeah. Anyway, we've come to the end of our Tellonym Q&A. Thank you all for watching. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you didn't like the video, please leave a dislike. I just want your honest opinions. And yeah, thank you for watching this Q&A. I know it's quite long, 12 questions in a row. I just hope that all your questions are answered. Any questions are answered. Yeah, if you want to see more videos, just drop a comment down below and ask if you want to see more videos. And well, see more videos like this, and because ironically I am going to be doing more of this, and I think if you guys like, if any of you like it, I'll keep doing them, because I just want to see how you all feel about my videos, and if you want to suggest a video recommendation, drop it down below. And yeah, so we've come to the end, and I gotta go now. I need to go and have a shave and etc. So I need to go and crack on now. But yeah, we'll see you very soon. I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good week. And yeah, I'll be uploading soon. This is Nina Yendel, and farewell.